Warrior Kings podcast. This is the best patriotic podcast in the world. Here we talk modest, political, and patriotic. And as usual, we're here to talk what concerns Mother Ghana. If it's not important, we won't talk about it. We follow what is worthy. And I have my intelligent brother here to talk about an exclusive. Today, we're doing an exclusive. So before we do that, I'm yours truly, the Okugo president. And I have my comrade S.A. Hammond, my intelligent and patriotic brother, here to talk about a serious and a great man. So, as I said, today we're doing an exclusive. This exclusive is about a man, a great man, called General Ignatius Kutu Acheampong. General I.K. Acheampong, popularly known by a lot of people. And this man, he's two of Ghana's leaders who have done a lot for this country, but didn't get what they deserved. They got less than what they deserved. So General Ignatius Kutu Acheampong is the man we're going to talk about. Why? Because today, exactly 16 June, is the 46 years since they killed him by firing squad by the Armed Forces Revolutionary Council. So we got to talk about this man. It's very important. If it's not important, we won't talk about it. So let's do that. Brother. Akwaba.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Chinya Adrian si nipa baako so.
And yeah, Kai Yanana Ignatius Kutu Acheampong.
General I.K. Acheampong.
But for say your drama for so an Kayano.
Bibini Bema pa.
And Omana we must never ever lose track of people who have sacrificed for this state, because we have seen enough of those who do not choose the state but themselves. And say, you see, you on that trajectory on my So days like this, it gives us that opportunity to have that sober reflections.
Yes.
And
you know what they say, posterity will judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is what we are here. We are posterity, and we are here to historically go through our political history, how the system came, and especially we focus on this man as he became the head of state of Ghana from 1972 to 1978.
Yeah.
6 years.
6 years.
Only 6 years.
And there's a litany of
the quantum of work he did for Ghana.
The body of work.
Only next to Asajifo.
What he represented. The ideologies he represented.
And
not just the ideologies, but the works.
Yeah,
we are talking about a man who understood that we must nationalize our state corporations.
Yes, and
just
assets.
Like Asajifo envisaged and did.
In fact, he was an incommunist.
You see?
Yeah.
It's very, very sad that as far back as the 1970s, this spirit of using our own to benefit the general public was being championed by a man like Ignatius Kutu Acheampong. And for him to meet this end, I mean, I think that these are some of the things that as a state we must take recognize of and see the people we hang and the people we praise.
Those we call heroes.
Yes. And
the real heroes nobody knows about.
The real heroes who through systematic propaganda
nobody knows about
have been defamed, maligned, pushed to the background because they represent an ideology that the state must progress, not a select few.
That benefit everybody.
Not a select few. They do not represent a tribe. And you see, most of the times, your greatest sin is that you're not representing a tribal agenda. If you're representing a tribal agenda, you can be as corrupt as the word corruption itself.
And historically, only 2 leaders in Ghana's history. We've had about 10 or 12 head of states and presidents, all of them leaders of the country since 1957, right? And only 2 are so distinct. Ejuma no I say, those 2, no mutimi sacrifice family comfort and national comfort. In California, sacrificing national comfort for the family comfort.
And these are the people we like.
You see,
these are the
only
people. These are the people that the Fourth Republic is telling us to celebrate.
Kwame Nkrumah and General Ignatius Kutu Acheampong pet no sacrifice your family comfort for the national comfort. Other ones will take the national comfort for their family comfort.
And the evidence is there. It's clear.
The only criteria that made them special. Say and you say my dear too much and I say near mom to me Ejuma no we so patriotic. They were not tribal. And you say me asantininti asantifon there be or you patriotic.
Now Mr. President said ye boom kompo ko hwe na we try to recount the events leading to this unfortunate state murder.
Yeah. So we got to give a background.
We have to give a background to it.
How
we have to give a background to
yes.
it. So you realize that as soon as Kotoka and the Frifa did their coup in 66 against the most legitimate government in Ghana, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's government, it opened the door for such actions.
Yes.
And the ripple effect was clear.
Yeah.
You understand? So then you realize that power shifted from the people to a select few with arms empowered by the states. But we must not lose the foundation of all these issues, that there was an active political organization that was running before Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah even landed on the shores of Ghana, which was the UGCC.
Yeah.
Which Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, having been a general secretary, championing the UGCC, when it got to the point that are we for the people or we are for ourselves, that is when the digression started. There is no record or whatsoever that points to the fact that Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was embezzling or was doing any malfeasance or was corrupt in the UGCC, and for that he's being withdrawn from the general secretary to the treasurer. There was no record of whatsoever. If anybody has it, I'm challenging the person to bring it out.
In fact, the crime that led to his sacking was that he fought for the people. He supported the rights of the veterans.
So as I was saying, when it came to that point, because in every revolution it starts from a point.
Yes.
But when it gets to that difficult conversations, then the man realized that no, this is not what I want to do, because he understands that he's a mortal and tomorrow he will not be here. And it's, as we always say, it is only patriotism that will immortalize you. My brother, as we are here, we do not do this because we think that whatever is going to become of the United Africa will be for us. No. But we do this because we know that we are mortals and tomorrow we will not be here. But then our generation, our people must continue, and they will remember our sacrifice, because then we have spread the good fortunes for all, and we have not kept it to ourselves. And that is the crust of patriotism. So when this great man was overthrown through an illegal coup backed by the CIA, backed by the UGCC, what then happened? Ironically, what then happened? When the Guitar Boys did their coup and failed, killing Kotoka, Efrifa then became the sole voice and leader. Is that correct?
Yeah, he was the head of state of the Kotoka.
He being the head of state, accepted that there must be an election. Then what happened in that election? Buzia's Progress Party won in a parliamentary election. We must establish that fact that Buzia, Kofi Abrefa Buzia, was not elected as a president. He became the prime minister when his party, having won parliament, elected him to lead government business. You understand? So we have moved from the first republic. There's a coup truncating our flow. We have come to the second republic. Then what happens with Buzia?
And Buzia says the first Republican Constitution gave too much power to the president. That time, Osajifo had sought to unite the country on the line that if we are the same people and we got the same problem, then we got to come together to solve our problem unanimously, not to be divided partisan lines. So he sought to form a one-party state.
Which
I don't know jinx.
Which means
I don't know petrol no.
Which means Posterity has established to us say one-party state. China for a one-party state.
Lack of understanding. Emma petrol no soy palma. University students class political science. Omontiasia say leader and Becca say young form a one-party state. Inti a failure no enema inti no cry no ni ho akọ ha no near two no ye two no inti a free fa koto kamo be yoku na yoku koto ka failure a free fa say obeji Republican atum inti abema ya second Republican Constitution. That time Buzia, the most famous politician or you brofu gede.
But still, no. One contested election say Ebia Buzia ne Ebia Bedema contested and now Buzia ne one no bianya sa.
Inti omoye you know we fede Buzia say Kwame Nkrumah president and had too much power. Into on pesa a kind of system into a parliamentary system near Omoye England near the adium. Some crofone be vote your representatives, MPs, no matter parliament. Yenya parliament, quorum new year, Omo nombe chusu, nyobaye prime minister,
yeah.
The parliament ne chusu Buzia. And just a Ghana phone na na to abaman, no by a president. You know one friend or president. He was never we only had one prime minister and he was Buzia.
Yeah.
The portfolio near prime minister.
Yeah.
The Tumian there, on the IMF no more time Kwame Nkrumah, all of a sudden the second republic no IMF a beg on a down for near Kwame Nkrumah pebia ye chum anytime Buzia almost say anatoma Brunica say anatoma just say it's a chessboard way white and black sana Kwame Nkrumah white Buzia black now Kwame Nkrumah pebia. Can you imagine say Buzia say on Pan-African unity? On African nonsense. He was never a proponent like that. Until your governance or no system, prime minister, until no by the time ne obedeka too much in a university for near the idea demonstrating near into only town or call England so yeah and ACHEAMPONG.
There comes
a cool.
ACHEAMPONG
was decidedly not to shed any blood in the school. Historically, he was the only coup maker that shed no blood or not shed. That's a yen mojangu. Yeah, too many clean. Especially when leader ni about Kwame Nkrumah time, leader ni about moja shwe.
Yeah. ACHEAMPONG school was seamless because then the Buzia-led government administration has failed.
Yes,
it was
unpopular.
It has not just failed. It has failed.
Really
flat.
Unpopular.
Extremely unpopular because then the people came to the realization that what was benefiting all of us is no more.
Yeah,
and the state has been reduced to a ball of.
Before he won, he had devalued the Ghana cedi.
That's
the IMF advised.
That's our first devaluation.
Yeah,
in our
first.
in the history
flat.
In the history of
Professor,
our republic,
you know,
of our republic,
the
Buzia-led administration did the first devaluation.
Yeah, so low, 44%
of the cedi, and Kufuor did redenomination. I think we have to do a special, episode for the redenomination too. There's a lot of things that we have to talk about, but not to digress. So then, ACHEAMPONG comes in. Let's scrutinize the man Ignatius Kutu ACHEAMPONG.
Yes.
The ideologies that he championed.
Yes.
The physical body of works that he did.
Yes.
Okay. This man comes in, sees that the country is saddled in debt that even cannot be proven legally. Unnecessary debt.
Yes, Emma still IMF niba country ni person be my advice. Advice was to sell everything to. Or no.
The advice has been privatization of our resources.
Exactly.
And it has never ceased. It has never ceased.
Yes.
They hated Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah for it, and they hated ACHEAMPONG for it.
Yes, so they came.
I'm making a point. You see?
To collect debt.
So as they came to collect debt, this man says that some of these things, you cannot even prove it. And we are not going to pay. So there was a rift. All of a sudden, internationally, Ghana was blacklisted. Because mind you, this Bretton Woods companies,
movement.
these Bretton Woods companies, they have that connection amongst themselves that if they blackball you against any form of business, their partners will do same.
Yeah.
So then it triggered an action that we have been cut off and we must fend for ourselves.
So ACHEAMPONG started Operation Feed Yourself.
So what does ACHEAMPONG do?
Operation
Seeing that we have been cut off, started Operation Feed Yourself.
And Operation Feed the Industries.
Thank you. This has been still popular even as 2025.
And this needs to be explained. You see,
look,
the economic context of the ideologies like Operation Feed Yourself and Operation Feed the Industries. So he was not a politician. If he was a politician, he would have a philosophical name like domestication. But he was a soldier. He was a practicalist.
Action man.
So he called it Operation Feed Yourself. It means self-reliance.
Yeah.
Now we've been blackballed. You need baby.
You need baby.
I'm Osaji for ya me who say.
You
bet me and
they did it. And they did it.
Yes.
And it was recorded. Say, as at that time, you could see that nationalistic.
On not started trade fair. Say every year, they.
As of now, trade fair is still
Operation
integral,
Feed Yourself,
in our system.
Establish Ghana Trade Fair. So every year they'll bring produce.
Just like Osajifo Saw said, look, we have to open the country and try and get infrastructure for our workforce. Ignatius Kutu ACHEAMPONG single-handedly with his government championed the establishment of the Dansoma Estate.
Yes, and not only that, so many places, flats. He started that.
You understand?
Medina, other places, Nungwa Estates. He built.
There's one in the Ashanti
region.
Dam. There's one in the Ashanti region.
Wager Dam.
Wager Dam.
No see.
This is the man. Yes, so he was a visionary.
Yes.
This is the man, Ignatius Kutu ACHEAMPONG.
The great Ignatius.
A Pan-African true and true. Look, his influence was not just in Ghana. Mr. President, as at the time, Nigeria experienced almost first civil war. When General Gowon, being the military head of state of Nigeria, and General Chukwueze being the leader of the Igbo people, and therefore the Biafra states, they started their fracas, the secession, to, you know, get a Biafra state out of Nigeria. It was only General Ignatius ACHEAMPONG, the then head of state, who was able to call these two leaders from Nigeria to come to Pediase and to sign the Ebri Accord. Now look, your brothers, don't let foreign powers hit you against each other and kill yourself. Settle your issue amicably. If you are able to make Biafra go as a state, let them go. And it is on record that General Gowon, who is still alive, signed the Ebri Accord that Biafra state should be established separate from Nigeria. They should go. As soon as they get back to Nigeria, other influences start creeping in, other interests start crippling in. And that was, I'm coming, that was the biggest massacre in the history of Nigeria. I'm saying this on record to eulogize General Kutu Acheampong, that he was somebody who had empathy and who understood the African version that, look, we have to be patriotic and build this country. And killing each other is not the way to go. Just as his coup was bloodless, he didn't want blood to spill in Nigeria. You see? So this man is somebody who did not deserve the end that he met in any way.
And before we come to the end that he met, the tragic end, right? We should name what he did, why we're here, why we're talking about a man. We are devoting the this episode,
the whole episode,
June 16th episode,
the whole episode
of
this is a great man
of the Warrior Kings podcast to this man. This was the man who, aside for what we have the national anthem and the what two national rhymes, national anthem and what?
Yeah,
national
pledge.
pledge.
Yeah, we have the national anthem and national pledge.
Osajifo invented the national anthem. He invented the national pledge.
Interest.
Historically, it is there. It is on record. See, this is the man who changed us from the left lane to the right lane. And you know, Kagana, to say.
And you think, and you see,
colonial is beer.
People do
They're
not,
driving on the left.
People do not see the
Operation Keep Right.
The economic
impact of that.
Impact of that change.
The world inclusiveness
of driving
of that decision.
And steering from the left to the right.
No
Because then you could, then he understood that. Baby,
South Africa.
Cars will
boarding cars will
cars will more into see a switch say a very simple and seamless for our people to get. This is somebody who understood, say we must work for the collective good of the people. So
this was a man who knew who knew what to do, but he was wearing the wrong attire for the right job.
So a military,
yes,
military leader.
And he died for because of his portfolio. So a general, you know, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, but before we come to that, Nipa way, man way, you'll be after two leaders. Now me young, I'm not perfect, right? But I pursue knowledge, and the knowledge of self. My ben we say on my way, two leaders pet, and then no more nature say omo omo and omo akoma pa say ombe bibia. Me say two leaders pet no omo ton omo family comfort. Ama yenyina. They had a chance to do what others have done. Obi timika say ni sika ni papa wiya no kro no ndin wie. So what is asem na?
Omo Caribbean.
Yeah, obi sika ni papa ewo no edija no ndin wie no abewia Ghana sika. Nso obenya tumi no. Oh ye koso. You see, so these are the leaders. Oni Osajifo, only second to Osajifo. That is why we're here mentioning this man's name.
Amen.
You see,
Bibia.
Operation Feed the Industries. Or no industries are tama obaya ne aton ama brofo no to say tama oil refinery munyina. Oba na Italian. Ono no bema Ghana only tour.
Nationalized it. You understand?
See?
Because that time then was a partnership between the Italians, and he saw that, look, I do here, so let's nationalize it. Now me make our points, you know. From day one, the IMF agenda is to push the nation to privatization of very, very important and key areas that will either propel us to our greatness or cut us back, because then somebody is controlling what we do, like our electricity, our energy, fuel. Nationalizing this give us that opportunity to say, and it was being used effectively.
Yes.
I said now, the same idea now, it has been developed on. What we cannot even boast of Thor.